welcome back to the conversation. So, check it out. The last conversation we had was about putting that science, the neuroscience of attention, into action. So check this out. There is one more thing you need to do, though, to make sure your attention is on the right thing. And that is to give your brain an incentive. Most people don't do that. We are tedious, everything. Straight to the point, don't give your brain an incentive. You need to use and need to make sure that your brain thinks you are right. Sounds funny, but it is. You have to make sure your brain thinks you're right. The thing that it's trying to focus on is worth all the attention and all the energy you're giving to it. So that's something we need to know for a fact. We need to make sure that's a situation that if your brain doesn't think you're right, if your brain is sitting there saying, oh, that's not enough attention, we are not giving no attention to that, then your ventricle system will always take over. So that's something you need to make sure. Your brain is built for survival, all right? Over thousands of years, as you know, it has helped us and our ancestors decide what's fight or flight, what's more important for survival, what's threatening us, and what is the most reward. So your focus can be on building that fire, or the lion's just chasing behind me, or on the tree that's full of fruit, delicious fruit that I want to eat. You know what I mean? Your brain is making all this up as it's going because it wants to survive. So we need to make sure that that part of the situation, our survival instinct is always there. And it's always going to be there. We just got to make sure what's more inside. Like I said, when you see delicious fruit, your ventricle system goes there automatically. Boom, let's take over. Let's go now. You know what I mean? So, but now we're in the modern world. And in the modern world, we're driven by instant gratification. Cake in the refrigerator, McDonald's, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Oh man, I want to do this, I want to do that. We have all these opportunities now that we never really get to because we just want it now. We want everything now. Other things also is social status. Most people, sex too as well. You know what I mean? Those things are there. But what we need to do is rise up and take to the top of our social status or social group and impress our families and friends because we want that to be the best thing that's win. And that's how we survive now. We no longer have those lions and tigers chasing us anymore, or that delicious fruit in a tree. Well, still got the delicious fruit in the tree, but we don't have all that other things going on now. It's just the idea of now it's something totally different. So now comes the problem. All right, in order for us to get the sense of accomplishment, we need to do well at work. You know what I mean? And that is now our new thing. The sense of accomplishment is work related always through. We need to impress our boss. We need to, whatever the boss has us doing, we need to make sure that we're doing it for him and for the company as well. And we never really satisfy ourselves yet because we're just so worried about that. But because that becomes the problem, there's two things, those two things are so far removed from each other. Your ventricle network has no interest in something that's boring, teeters, whatever. Who cares about that crap? It's not rewarding. Doesn't matter. But despite all that you accomplish, it could be something that brings you to a higher level, right? But the dorsal network, which is the opposite of it, it can be seen as non-mythical flow state. The flow state in your mind where you enter everything and everything seems to fall away. You know what I mean? It's pure focus on what we need to do. And that's what we need to be. Entering the flow state. And that flow state is what's going to take you to the next level. If you've ever played sports, or if you've done something that you're so focused that you can't, that you forget time and stuff like that. It seems like in sports, like I'm a sports guy. When I'm in sports and when I'm in flow state, everything seems to freeze. I'm moving fast. I'm moving faster and faster and faster, but everything seems to like slow down. So, and when we was going from college to the NFL, what happens is they say that the game is fast, right? And the game is fast. It is. It's faster than college game. But once you get going into it, all of a sudden the game slows down and things seem slower. And it's not that the game is slower. It's just that my brain has entered flow state, and I'm in that flow state so long that now I can hold that flow state for 4, 5, 6 hours of a game and still be going full tilt and be exhausted at the end of it though. But you're exhausted. So if you ever felt lost in work or something like that, and you were just going and you forget to go to the toilet, you forget to go to forget to eat, we've been in those times. You've been working at your workplace and you just forget to eat. That is the flow state that you want to be in. That's when we know we're where we're supposed to be. Even fantastic and fascinating conversations can bring you to flow state because you just totally forget about time. You're so involved in that moment that's what's getting you to where you need to be. All of this comes from one simple fact, that we are in the flow state. We're in flow. When we think that what we're doing deserves 100% of our attention, snowboarding, having a fascinating conversation, something that inspires us to do all of this is our flow state. And this triggers measurable changes in the brain. Our brain just wants to enjoy, have fun. The frontal region of your brain up in here actually shuts down and leaving us to pure instinct and reflex. And that's why it seems like we move so fast, because everything's going so quick. We being so intently focused on the world around us, we literally lose ourselves in that moment. And you've been there before, and I know you have, and that's the state we're trying to always trigger every time. So how do we trigger this state when doing what you need to do? The answer to focusing on that moment or that motivating reason behind what you do. So we have to be focused on the reason why we're doing what we're doing. It's that to focus on the why. You've heard that before. Let's focus on the why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to do this? And you have to remind yourself that passion has driven you to where you are now anyway. So that passion is what's going to get you moving. That's going to get you motivated. That's what's going to get you that focus and that attention that you're trying to get into, and it's going to get you into that flow state. All right. So, for instance, if you're doing data entry, something real boring. I don't know, it's boring. You're doing data entry. Just imagine the picture of this. You're tapping in stuff, and you're going through it. But you got to get through this to make enough money to get where you want to go. But if you do it quickly and you impress the boss, you can get out of that state, get out of this crap, and go into what you want to do, which is the more fun stuff, being an entrepreneur or being the executive of that company and stuff like that. So that is something we need to understand. Even though doing data flow, or not data flow, but data entry, you just need to understand the reason why you're doing this. There's another important tip is you always do your best work. Trying to find what's important in what you're doing. So say if you have to force yourself to write something that you're not enthusiastic about. It happens, we wrote papers like that in college and stuff like that. So you must be able to find some aspect of that writing that is interesting and stuff, or you just have to put a twist on it to make it more interesting. So you and your brain can focus even harder, because when you twist it, it might be a little bit better. You know what I mean? So let's think about making that change, and that can approach the things that make things that are boring into something more exciting. And you know what? Even if it's not what you think it is, the more you find interesting about another subject, think about when someone's reading that subject and getting to know about you, you become more interesting. All right? So, see you at the next conversation. Peace.